certainly that is a very difficult task, but certainly it is very, very satisfaction. I mean, it means after you achieve that, after you think कि हाँ भाई अब मेरा दाल रोटी चल रहा है, और कोई आके आपको जब कहता है कि yes, anyone, let me tell you, आपके ही फील्ड में कोई आके कहता है कि you have done a good job, it is very satisfying.
Or you are invited for a panel discussion.
Thank you.
Let me slightly. What he has said, I agree with a lot of things. And in the end, he said that in the end, it is individual who does that. I don't have experience of many firms, but what I see is within firms there are various teams, and within that team there is ownership of projects. It is not that work comes to you, even if you are best established firm. There is repeat business which comes from experience, and for small mistakes that client goes with you, and there is a lot revenue which goes out. So if you start with a firm, what you can learn is that there is a process of doing work. There is no shortcut, which any professional will repeat in whatever capacity he will work, because he has to he is responsible for delivery, and that partner or that particular team who is responsible for servicing a client, he will own, and he is responsible for everything from beginning to end. In the end, it does not work. Where I have seen is that any expense you can bill to the client. Ultimately, each team generates a P&L.
Yeah.
If there is a profit, you are well rewarded. Otherwise, you are kicked out.
Yeah.
That is how it.
That is for the partners, not for the investors.
It is most of it works that way. Obviously,
Yeah, some internal cost.
it's a different structures.
So personally speaking, means my friends are there in the firms also, but it is never before you become partner. A partner gets a share, but all others they get remuneration, and that also partners who are senior partners.
Maybe it's
Not-
difference between law firm and a CA firm.
No. But even in our firm, it's a 200 professionals. There is certain, obviously, ownership element is there when you are junior most. Of course, you don't have it. But once you start
He is not
increasing,
talking about the remuneration part. He is
Huh?
talking about that you cannot
Huh?
spend any amount. It will be tracked and it will be
no.
assigned to you.
I'm talking about everything. There has to be an ownership, at least in place where I am.
Yeah.
There is an ownership, and your performance
It will
gets
be a factor.
converted into some form how you have performed, and after once you start rising, it does get into it. And even in the say company other than firm, what our clients are going into is a salary structure where it will be now more of performance linked incentives, especially when you are reaching above. It will be, you see, in 5 years, 10 years down the line, it will be a different salary structure we will see.
Thank you both. We have a lot of civil services aspirants here, and the changes in the examination pattern has been a lot in news recently, both for overall pattern changes and English mother tongue language and those changes. So I'd like Rajiv Ranjan Kumar to talk about the new trends in the civil services exams.
Recent year has seen the changes in the pattern in which the civil service exam is being conducted. Like in the year 2011, prelims, the syllabus for the prelims changed. Earlier there was a optional subject, and then combined with the general studies. Now the optional subject has been done away with. Earlier the question was, which subject I should select for prelims and for mains. And the preparation for those at that time was quite different. Like the distribution of marks was also different for the optional and JS. So depending upon the optionals, people tend to study more of optionals, and then because the one question carries 2.5 marks, In case of GS, it carries 1 mark. So there was a combination permutation through which, if you could get through a good marks in optional subject, then you are sure that you will qualify for the prelims. Now from the year 2011, what has happened? The optional subject has been done away with, and there are 2 GS paper. General studies, what does it comprise of? General studies nowadays comprise everything you can ask for. Like it has a part of history, part of geography, public administration also forms a part of general studies. Then there is mental abilities, maths, basic maths, reasoning, and the current affairs. These are the broad things which are being asked in the civil service prelims, as well as if we see now in case of main also. Earlier the pattern for the main was, first I'll talk about the prelims. So now preparing for prelims, it has been seen in the past that once you mastery over the optional language, optional subject in fact, then there was no problem in getting through the prelims. Even if you study for 1 month, depending upon the individual, how well he has prepared for his optionals, he can easily get through the prelims. Now the case is that you don't, there is no fixed syllabus, there is no fixed optionals. So every prelims is a new beginning. It is not that you have advantage or anything. Once the prelims is over, if you qualify, good, you prepare for the main. If you don't, we have to start fresh again. The current affairs changes, the news changes, and you have to prepare from the scratch. So that is the basic difference now and earlier. Similarly, in the case of main exam from the last year, the pattern has been changed. Earlier the pattern was you have to select 2 subjects, 2 optional subjects, and then there were essay paper and Hindi English, that was just qualifying. Essay was compulsory, and 2 GS paper. Now the optional subject has been done away with, and a new general studies has been introduced. But the formation of the questions and the patterns is somewhat based on the current trends. Like you see the last year paper, mostly it was from the news, and the subject mainly on which it was based was current affairs with the public administration. Public administration and its implementation, how it is being implemented in the current scenario, political scenario. Then there was a certain portion of geography, history, and like that. Though all the subjects are being covered in the civil service things, it can always be debated where the earlier system was good or bad, or the now the system which has been introduced is good or not. There are views, because the earlier system supported some kind of people, now the system is supporting some kind of people. So there are different things about the syllabus. The pattern has completely changed. So it is open to everyone. It is not that you have studied this subject, you can apply for civil services and like that. Earlier our basic question used to be कि हमें क्या subject लेके we should do our graduation. That question I think has now become irrelevant. Anything you study, though it is the most open examination, anyone can sit just having a graduation degree, and rightly so. Only thing civil servants ask is for patience. You need to have patience, and before you enter the civil service exam, you must be clear, either by choice or by force. It happens because we had limited career option in school. Either you go to NDA, and if you have not made it, then engineering or medical. And if you belongs to the UP Bihar side, then there is certain biasness towards the civil services. It is you might not be opting for the civil services, but there are tendency, or you tend to take 1 or 2 attempts. We thought, let me also sit for the examination. Everybody is sitting. So don't jump into the unknown. And when we prepare for the examination, after preparing for 1 year or 2 year, we get to know ki we'll do better or not. But no point coming back from there if you know ki I cannot make it. There are so many options nowadays, and once we come out of the school in better big places like Delhi and Indian cities, there are lot many options. But if you have made up your mind ki I have to join the civil services, then be patient. There are a lot of criticism, lot many things you have to hear. Us, what we have prepared, then you used to hear. But patience always pay. Sometimes we can tend to divert. Like we are preparing for civil service examination, side by side, any exams comes, we sit for that. Someone is sitting for SSC, it is fine. But your target should be that. It should not be at the cost of what you are achieving or aiming for. So, what I said ki the patience is the key. You have to keep faith in yourself, keep trying. If you are really serious, and keep patience, you will get through. Thank you.
Okay. And as we all know that this event is not only for the benefit of about 50-60 people sitting here, but also it is being recorded, and it will be hopefully benefiting everybody anywhere, 4,000 Sainik School alumni in different stages of their career. And one of the relatively more sought after careers is banking. A lot of people who decide late that what they want to do eventually decide that okay, let me prepare for a banking competition. So I'll ask Sujit Kumar to offer some advice for those who wish to become a banker or bank officer.
First of all, I would like to tell that if someone's plain graduate, means if they have done BTech, like they should not opt for the banking careers. That is very clear to them. Well, once they have done the BTech, I have seen many guys, they are my job mates, they are at my bank only. I have seen they are not satisfied after serving many sector in their respective sectors also and coming to the banking sector. They are not finding any satisfaction. So better if you are a BTech guys or BE guys, I would like to suggest always that you go to your respective sector rather than coming to the bank. And if you are from after doing +2 or you are focused to the banking sector, then you go for the plain graduation, BA, BSc, go for MBA, then come to the bank. That is and in bank also if you are coming with the MBA, you have a scale that rather than joining PO, you can directly become scale 2 or scale 3. That is also provision. And in banking sector, PO is considered as a scale 1 officer. But once you become the scale 4 officer in the banking sector, then your life will be much comfortable, and you don't have to worry that yes, I have joined any banking sector, because 1 to 3 scale is a little bit tough, or you can say that second and third scale is much tougher than scale 1 also. But once you become the scale 4 officer, that is called the chief manager in any bank, and then life is comfortable. So after doing MBA, you can directly join the scale 2 or scale 3. So you can work hard for 4 to 5 years, and you can reach the scale 4 and MBA. So my advice to if someone wants to join the bank, is most welcome. But BTech and BE guys, I am finding that they should not come to the bank. They have different.
Thank you, Sujit. One of the focus of today's event is lifelong learning. And although not many are here, in fact none is here, but this event will be watched by a lot of armed forces aspirants or maybe young officers. So my question for Commander Tayal is, what is his advice on importance of lifelong learning in the armed forces? Those who are or wish to be in armed forces, how it is important?
First of all, service is a career in, फौज जो हम कहते हैं उसमें काफ़ी प्लान मैनर में आपका करियर का प्रोग्रेशन होता है. एक तो आपकी जो प्रमोशंस वगैरह हैं काफ़ी स्ट्रक्चर्ड होती हैं, एंड बेसिकली हर जो लेवल जहाँ पे क्वालिफिकेशन होती है, मतलब जहाँ पे सेग्रीगेशन की आप प्रमोटेड हुए और नॉट प्रमोटेड, वहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए आपको वेरियस टाइप ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट्स करने होते हैं, और वो आपको पूरा कंप्लीट गैमेट
एक्सपोजर देते हैं। अब वो सब करने के लिए आपको प्रॉपरली ट्रेन भी होना चाहिए। तो फौज में ट्रेनिंग स्ट्रक्चर बहुत वेरी वेल एंड वेरी ब्यूटिफुली ऑर्गेनाइज होते हैं, जिसमें थ्योरेटिकली नहीं प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंसेस सब स्टेज पे दिया जाता है। ग्रेजुएशन एंड बिफोर एनी अपॉइंटमेंट आपके एक लाइक जैसे हमें किसी शिप पे जाना होता था, तो उस शिप से रिलेटेड प्री कमिश्निंग ट्रेनिंग जरूरी होती है। And then within the services they give you opportunity. Like myself, I joined Navy after 12. After that, initial training for 6 months, which was basic naval orientation course. I did BTech and electrical engineering within Navy. Subsequent to that, after appointment and specialization courses, I have already done MTech in electronics and telecommunication. And over and above that, अगर आप कुछ और भी करना चाहते हैं, अपनी पर्सनल चीज़ जो आपके इंटरेस्ट हैं, हॉबीज़ हैं, एक्टिविटीज़ हैं, जैसे माउंटेन क्लाइंबिंग, सेलिंग, वो सब अगर आप करना चाहते हैं, आपको उसके लिए कुछ ट्रेनिंग और कुछ चीज़ चाहिए, डिफेंस सर्विसेज डू सपोर्ट यू। अदर देन दैट, अगर आप किसी बाहर के इंस्टीट्यूट में, जैसे मैंने जमनालाल बजाज से पार्ट टाइम MBA किया, उसकी भी परमिशन दी जाती है। Over and above that, this is the technical and academic part of it. In Navy or defense services, there is a very strong bond between officers and men. Lifelong learning is there. How do you interact with guys? How do you do the job? Finally, you are job oriented, task oriented. I really like the statement एक जो उन्होंने पहले कहा था कि गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और इनमें ये होता है कि आपको चॉइस नहीं होती कि आपके जूनियर्स कौन होंगे, तो आपको कैसे काम कराना है, आपको कैसे मोटिवेट करना है। यू विल हैव टू डू द लीडरशिप पार्ट, हाउ टू मोटिवेट गाइज टू डू देयर बेस्ट। यू मे नॉट हैव द बेस्ट रिसोर्सेज, यू मे नॉट हैव द बेस्ट गाइज, यू मे नॉट हैव द एडवांटेजेस ऑफ टाइम, लग्जरी ऑफ टाइम नहीं है, फिर भी आपको काम करना है, आप करेंगे। I hope I have answered.
I take this one.
Sure.
Okay. So
Lifelong learning,
yeah,
importance of
lifelong.
lifelong learning for
See,
civilians.
for everyone, I think. How many of you are in private sector? Just Kali par, can I have a sense of? And how many of you really know that Income Tax Act एक प्रोविजन है कि हर महीने 1200 रुपए की आप ट्रेनिंग ले सकते हैं। हर महीने आप 1200 रुपये की ट्रेनिंग ले सकते हैं। बहुत कम लोगों को ये बात पता है और बहुत कम कंपनी वाले इसको आपके सैलरी पैकेज में डालते हैं। 1200 रुपये मतलब 14,000 रुपये, 14,400 रुपये की ट्रेनिंग सालाना आप ले सकते हैं। और कंपनीज को ये टैक्स फ्री इनकम की तरह आपको, कंपनी हैज टू सर्टिफाई दैट दिस ट्रेनिंग हैज बीन यूज्ड फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ बेनिफिट।
So I'll just add, because our viewers are international, so
Right.
for equivalent thing in US,
Yeah.
because some of them will be watching, you get exactly $5,260, which is untaxed for the same purpose.
Yeah, so different countries have different things, but government of India has brought on this, and the whole purpose of this is very simple: lifelong learning. And the mantra of life to me is, it is the day we believe that learning has stopped, we are gone. Guys, I graduated 1991, still work 16 hours a day, and every day I learn something. Right, so it could be formal, informal, relational, in whatever way you believe it happens. I believe learning happens in multiple ways. Okay, but I'm talking of corporate guys, and you have salary structures, and you can actually go to your company and say that, okay, give me this, make it as a part of a package when you're negotiating. This is tax free for you. Okay, and companies get benefit. Tax rebate उनको मिल रहा है. It's win-win for both sides actually. So you have to actually make benefit of opportunities available in life. And lifelong, I'm a big believer, as I said, whether it is service, civilian. I've worked in government, I was a beneficiary of learning. So every organizations will have those policies. So it's Punj Lloyd where we do training, etc., and at various stages you have. Any other company, like Accenture. So again, You will have various stages, well-defined training paths. But at the end of it, learning is an individual's sole responsibility. Until the time I believe it, right, we will keep on thinking, yeah, company ko karana hai, it's company's responsibility, we will keep on missing it.
So I've been mostly asking questions, so I'll add to it about lifelong learning. And it's my personal perspective, because for me it has been a pattern that after bachelor's degree, I worked for 4 years and then started a master's degree.
Yeah.
After master's degree, I'm still working, but after working 4 years and only working and not getting a degree, I started a PhD. So why do I do it? Or what do I feel about it? So again, it's my personal perspective. I mean, most important thing in both cases, it gives me a lot of enjoyment, a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment. So the question of burden is gone. I'm doing now I do a very hectic full-time job, and I'm doing a PhD in an education system where PhD is a very, it's not taken lightly. People are thrown out of the PhD program every year if they don't maintain a certain level of performance. So, but why I do it? Because it keeps me updated. I learn new things, new technology, and also it makes me feel young. I go to a university, I take classes, I really enjoy it. I meet new people, new friends, and some of my, now a person who is coming out of a BTech and entering a master's degree program, and a PhD and master's people have same classes. So now I do have not exactly half, but some sort of approximately half my age person in my class. So it gives a lot of new perspective from different type of people. You learn new ideas, and it broadens your horizons, and it's a lot of fun. So for me, one should go for higher education, and I'm talking about a formal, like a degree kind of higher education. If you really feel passionate about it, it's one should always explore. And as Mr. Shives explained, that in every system there are financial incentives to go for it.
Okay, I think Shreyas has made a point, and I just want to give a very quick anecdote. So this was 1996 when I met Chidambaram, finance minister. He was finance minister even then. And he said that you have to go back to school every 7 years. Right? I didn't understand it then. I went back to school after maybe 14, and then I kept going back. And there's a method there's a reason why he said 7 years. I don't know how often your life has changed. Do you believe your life has changed? My life has changed very much, very often. Last maybe 12 years, it has changed. The fact of the matter is that the world changes very fast, and whatever we have learned, it gets outdated. Right? And you can't be living in the new world with the old knowledge. So lifelong learning agar nahi hai, you all know the story of boiling the frogs, right? Many of you might not know. So story ये है कि एक गर्म पानी में there's a beaker or a boil pan in which water was, the two frogs were there, and the water was there, and the water was slowly made to boil, and the frogs never realized that the temperature has reached 70 degrees centigrade. And suddenly a frog from external world was put into this water. He felt the water very hot and he jumped out of it. पर ये जो दो बंदे थे अंदर में बैठे, इनको लगा कि यही मस्त है लाइफ, right? Why should I change? 70 degree है, को पता 70 degree means that it becomes 75, frogs will die. You get a sense of that the world keeps on changing. Until the time I change myself, nothing is going to happen. We ought to do.
Now I open it to questions, and we have some time before we have to leave the hall. So we'll take maximum of 10 questions. So please show your hands, say your name one more time, and then you can point your question either to a particular panelist or in general, and anyone will pick it up. Please.
First, we have to make up our mind. Then, in certain cases, I would say yes, it is required. But requirement depends. Like, what did the coaching institute do? They show you the path. Okay, this is the way you have to move. Rest you have to do by yourself. It is not that they will provide you. They do provide you the kind of teaching materials, ready-made answers, ready-made questions. You can develop upon them. But what I think, they provide you the overall picture that this is the syllabus. Instead, you search a lot. What is our tendency? We go to the market. We see a lot of material is there. We tend to go. अच्छा ये भी पढ़ लेते हैं, ये भी पढ़ लेते हैं, ये भी पढ़ लेते हैं. So, जो अच्छे coaching institute है, they just give you the guidelines. Look, this is the framework, this is the syllabus, this is the pattern in which the question might be asked, and rest depend upon you. Necessity also arises. आप खुद से पूछिए कि मुझे किस चीज़ में कोचिंग की ज़रूरत है, GS में, सब्जेक्ट में, और किस चीज़ में. It depends upon individual कि आपको किस चीज़ में ज़रूरत है, उसके बेसिस पे you take coachings. But selection of a good coachings is very much required.
Next question.
I have a question for you.
Please.
Basically, if you are in a position where you need to choose, in which part, basically, if I take my example, I am at a certain position from where I can take two paths, towards the technical line or towards the managerial line. And I am in a great dilemma which line to choose. Because I find both the lines equally attractive. How should I go for that?
Sure. So the question is that given in a situation where one has two paths, which is the path one should take? For example, technical or managerial, which is the most common dilemma. So there are two ways to go about it. Which path you perceive will make you more successful, will get you a promotion or a salary or something like that. And other is the path which you will really enjoy. So always go, and suppose it's a set trend among your company and your friends that if you take the managerial path, you will make more money, just for example. But do what you will enjoy. Because if you do that, in 5 years down the line, you will make money also. And you will be happy. You will be happier than those who took a beaten path and maybe hold a better title or position or a vice president. But the main goal should be enjoy and be happy. Money comes after that also. Ashwari, you had a question?
This is regarding MBA, sir. We have been talking about so much about MBA. I am in such a job, like somebody is in a technical job, somebody is in, you can say, finance position or something else. I am in an administration job. So I have been planning to do MBA from last 5 years. Every year, that's a plan for me that I will take admission in MBA and I will do my MBA. But what happens when I go for, ask the institute that I am in administration position and which field will be best? They say HR. I tell them that I have nothing to do with HR because I am taking care of the administration part. So HR is something hiring and all those people management. So somebody tells go to finance. I tell them I don't know anything about finance, why should I go for finance? So that's something that keep on growing year and year and I am not getting any conclusion on that.
Can I take that?
Yeah, please.
आप करना क्या चाहते हैं? The question is very, it is not about what the school wants to teach.
Great.
What do you want?
ठीक है. आप करना क्या चाहते हैं?
That's what I have done.
I
want to have an MBA.
आप किस चीज? Where do you see that this is your calling of, अगर आपको जीवन में अपनी जन्म साथी वाइफ को अगर चुनना हो तो भी ये सब सारी समस्याएं आएंगी कि वो वाली चाहिए, ये वाली चाहिए,
Our next panel will be on that.
और the point is which of these girls make your heart tick? लाइफ में आंसर बहुत सिंपल होता है बस। मुझे किसी भी दुविधाओं से, आपकी भी दुविधा से मुझे कोई मतलब किसी भी दुविधा से आप आराम से निकल सकते हैं। Ultimately you have to find your answer to your heart, not to your mind. Your mind will always give you wrong answer. Believe me. But heart will not give you wrong answer. Okay. तो पहले ये पूछिए कि अच्छा ये फाइनेंस है, आता नहीं आता is not the issue. You want to become Warren Buffett? Then become Warren Buffett. Right? नहीं आता it's a skill matter. मतलब ठीक है यार, ये तो जोड़ घटाव है, उसको आपको सिखा दिया जाएगा, मैं रोज करता हूँ। But you have to resolve it yourself. कि यार ये है, ये जीवन की बस यही।
Yes. I think Rishi Ranjan had a question.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन जयंत सर से है कि सीए बनने के बाद क्या क्या जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी है, और एक क्वेश्चन और है जो मैं संजय सर से भी पूछना चाहता हूँ कि अगर आप कोई फॉर्म एक छोटे टाउन में खोलना चाहते हैं तो हाउ शुड आई मेक द क्लाइंट्स, कैसे मैं क्लाइंट्स बना सकता हूँ?
पहले क्वेश्चन का आंसर है कि अगर जॉब पर्सपेक्टिव से देखें तो सीए करने के बाद आप अकाउंटिंग भी कर सकते हैं, डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन में कर सकते हैं, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन है, फाइनेंस फंक्शन में आ सकते हैं, या फिर प्रैक्टिस में आके हर चीज़ कर सकते हैं। सिर्फ ऑडिट करते हैं, बहुत लोग इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स करते हैं। इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में भी सर्विस टैक्स का आजकल प्रैक्टिस बढ़ रहा है। एक्साइज अपने आप में एक अच्छा प्रैक्टिस है। तो स्पेशलाइजेशन ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। आप जो जानते हैं थॉरो जानते हैं और उसमें आप कैसा, आपको इंटरेस्ट कैसा है, वो सब्जेक्ट आपको अच्छा लगता है और वैसे करके आप कर सकते हैं। कंपनी में क्योंकि एक सिलसिलेवार तरीके से सिखाते हैं तो वहाँ पे सीखने के लिए अच्छा होता है। और अगर आप प्रैक्टिस करना चाहते हैं तो मैं सजेस्ट करूँगा कि कंपनी में जाके भी आप शुरू करें, एक्सपीरियंस ले लें, फर्म में भी चले जाएं, एक्सपीरियंस ले लें, फिर प्रैक्टिस करें।
लेकिन सर फॉर्म में जाने के बाद एक काफ़ी गेस्टेशन पीरियड हो जाता है।
एक्चुअली गेस्टेशन पीरियड आप कैसे समझते हैं? मेरे बहुत सारे दोस्त हैं या मैं भी हूँ, 5 साल मैंने कंपनी में काम किया फिर फर्म में आया, क्योंकि एक बेस था। फर्म में आके आपको भी वहाँ पे आके डे 1 से प्रोडक्टिव होना पड़ता है। वो आप कैसे बनेंगे? आप एक क्लाइंट को डिलीवरी के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है या उम्मीद की जाती है आज नहीं तो साल 2 साल में ये आदमी डिलीवर करेंगे। आप सीख के आए हैं तो सीखने का चांस, उसको आपको लर्निंग कर्व जो कहते हैं, पढ़ते हैं हम लोग, वो लर्निंग कर्व उतना आसान होता है। मेरा सजेशन ये है कि आप प्रैक्टिस करें, खासकर हमारे लाइन में। तो आप सीख के आए तभी आप किसी को कन्विंस कर सकते हैं कि ये चीज़ जो मैं कह रहा हूँ उसका कन्विक्शन और उसका बेसिस क्या है।
लेकिन सर प्रैक्टिस लाइन में आप जाते हैं तो यू आर जस्ट गिविंग सजेशंस टू हाउ टू डू द थिंग्स।
इट्स नॉट,
अगर आप
नहीं,
कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर में रहते हैं तो यू हैव टू डू द थिंग्स।
हाँ वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, पहले आप सीखिए कैसे करते हैं। और प्रैक्टिस में ऐसा नहीं होता है, खासकर हम लोग जिस काम में करते हैं, चाहे कोई भी सारा भी ब्रांच है, वहाँ पे आपको क्लाइंट आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन देगा। चूँकि एसएमई साइड में अगर ज़्यादातर चांस है कि अगर आप प्रैक्टिस करें तो उनको ज़्यादा आपका शुरू के क्लाइंट होंगे। वहाँ पे आपको पता चलेगा कि सारा का काम आपको बहुत खुद काम करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि उनको आता नहीं है कैसे करना, तो वहाँ आपको सिखाना पड़ेगा। इसीलिए आप खुद सीखेंगे तभी सिखा पाएंगे। और छोटे शहरों में प्रैक्टिस की बात है तो शायद अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ वहाँ ज़्यादा हैं, इसलिए कि वहाँ पे कंपटीशन कम है। आज की डेट में बहुत सारे बिजनेस मॉडल ऐसे हैं, नए नए तरह के बिजनेस मॉडल होते हैं और वहाँ पे वो बहुत अच्छा चल रहे होते हैं। बड़ी फर्म जो होती है उनका इकोनॉमिक्स ऐसा नहीं होता छोटे से फर्म में जाके अपना ब्रांच खोलें और डे 1 से उनको एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का रिवेन्यू चाहिए। आप लोकली आपको नॉलेज होता है कि कौन लोग अच्छा कर रहे हैं, तो आप उनको जाके मिल सकते हैं और अपना एक्सपीरियंस बताएंगे। तो एक मार्केटिंग है, वो तो करना ही पड़ेगा। तो वैसे करके आप अपना क्लाइंटेल बना सकते हैं। क्लाइंटेल हमेशा धीरे धीरे ही बढ़ता है।
I have a question. When time is increasing, so if you are good at it, maybe it's a good thing that your boss always comes to you that please get it done, and you are in a position when you can't say no to him. But if you are accepting that it's taking a toll on your personal life, wherein your family members want to devote a good amount of time with them as well. So what do you suggest that how should we tackle such kind of situations?
I think it's not the best person to answer this. Okay, but let me tell you, aware of time, right? And I plan my days well. I do things. I do really work. I work at home. I work at office. I try and spend time with my children. I have two boys. Yeah, I have not taken holidays. Right? This is a real challenge for the last 4 years. Very brief holidays. So in a way, the work-life balance has got a little skewed for me. And I always want to course correct, but once you are an entrepreneur, I think it's a difficult choice. Okay. When I was in corporate, I never had that, or in civil service, I never had that problem. And I always, maintain in the sense that we would play, I'd be doing running and those kind of things. Sometimes to get myself fit, I set those goals for myself. Right? Manoj and me, we've been know each other for 10 years now, close to it. And during last 10 years, I have done 3 full marathons, 3 half marathons, just to ensure that I have to get into the right fitness frame. So sometimes you set those goals. I'm saying that for me, the personal, at the family, I have taken more of their time. Stephen Covey says that it's like a bank account where you are giving and taking those kind of things, and there's an imbalance which keeps on happening. One decision which I really made great in life, which Shreyas is aware, is I married to a girl who I really liked, and she supported me all through. Okay, and setting is very, very class 4 town, Bhagalpur, right? And this is everything there. And she supports me. I have been drawing more from her account, emotional account as they call it. Okay, but it's working for me.
I'll add to that answer because my experience is a little, somewhat different and somewhat similar in certain ways. I have been taking a holiday every year for 3 weeks minimum. And today everybody's coming from office, but I'm on vacation today.
Lovely.
So anyway, so see the way because I do a lot of things, so it's really important. First of all, you need to define what is most important for you. So for me, most important thing is my wife and my daughters. So for me, the availability to my children is complete from say 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. till they sleep. So no matter what's happening in the world, I'm there. All Saturdays, all Sundays. If there is a fire somewhere or something somewhere, I don't care. I'm only at home with my daughters. Unless I have an exam tomorrow, something like that, because sometimes I have exams. And I try to, and because some of the Hindi movies earlier, any movie, I saw those scenes where the child goes to her drama practice, and they're watching to the door that when my father will come. You've seen those kind of thing. And they become very disappointed. And on the other side, the guy is driving in stress and somehow not reaching, right? So I made sure that I will never be that father. So anytime, if my child has a smallest thing, not like a major dance performance, smallest activity in her school, which they do have a lot, and she expects me to be there, I'll be there during office time. Between 9 to 5, if my child has an activity or a doctor appointment, nothing matters. So that's my priority. That's how I operate, and that's why it gets done. I coach my daughter. Most of the competitors are professionally coached. I coach my daughter to play chess. She's only 5 years old. She plays at US and California level and is a US Chess Federation rated player. To teach a child, you need to play a lot, play every day. I play chess with her every day. So my kids perhaps think that, I have no job. I do nothing else. So, I want to be that kind of father. Thank you. And, okay, we'll take one.
As an entrepreneur.
So, Sanjeev.
Okay, guys, I think the most challenging thing in life that I have done is what I'm doing now. And I've been doing now this thing for 4 years. And let me scare you, थोड़ा डरा दूँ मैं आपको कि पिछले 4 साल से मैंने तनख्वाह नहीं ली. Right? I said that I'm drawing on my emotional and now financial bank account of my wife. Right? She works, she's successful in her own individual way. I have a choice that I can walk into a company, into a good job. Even right now, tomorrow there could be a job. It's as soon as I'm saying. So there are huge amount of challenges. Sometimes you don't know how to, you don't have answers. जॉब में क्या है कि आपके पास एक बॉस है, बॉस के पास गए, उसके पास आंसर है, या उसके बॉस के पास आंसर है. यहाँ पे यू साइन द चेक, आपके अकाउंट में पैसा नहीं है, आप फिर भी चेक साइन कर रहे हैं, तो आप सोच रहे हैं कि कैसे इसको मैं फुलफिल करूँगा इस ऑब्लिगेशन को. राइट, सो देयर आर सेवरल क्वेश्चंस व्हिच कम व्हेन यू आर डूइंग योर बिजनेस, बट एट द एंड ऑफ इट इज कंप्लीटली अबाउट जिगर. यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट वर्ड? कि कितना राइट, it is about guts, following your passion and managing cash like a donkey. Donkey का मतलब donkey's mind रोज कर रहे हैं, रोज बैंक अकाउंट को देख रहे हैं कि आपके बिजनेस अकाउंट में कितना पैसा और कैश बच गया. That's the only way I have survived. I have not been like a company which pays to their employees after 30 days. I know companies, the big ones, 9 महीने तक सैलरी नहीं दी. So we are not like that. The moment that happens, I will shut down my business. So there are principles through which we work, and the principles are very simple. All employees should get paid on time. Right? And we have been successful for 4 years. That everyone, even though we are small, it might be 8 people, 10 people, it goes up, it went up to 13, from 13 it came to 2, from 2 we have, so we have gone through those cycles. The main difference is, in business, the expenditure is guaranteed, income is not guaranteed. खर्च तो आपके होंगे ही होंगे, पैसा आने वाला नहीं आने वाला किसी को पता होता है. ठीक है, वो आप कितना झेल सकते हैं उसकी. ठीक है, so that's why it says that there's a lot of risk, there's a lot of all those things. But it is, it's an enormous experience, I must tell you. No job, nothing can give you that experience. ठीक है, और तब आपको याद आता है कि किसी ने कविता लिखी थी और पोएट्री लिखा था, और best sweetest songs are those which tell the saddest thoughts. Right, so it's out of these challenges that moments of truths of life come out. It's not out of happiness that truths come out, out of extremely excruciating circumstances. Right, तो अगर आपको बिजनेस करना है, आप लोग मैराथन दौड़ना शुरू कीजिए. I'm just telling you, this is a reality. The closest thing that you can get to starting a business is to run marathons. And I can guarantee you that after 30 kilometers, all of you will want to quit. यार छोड़ो यार, इससे कहाँ आगे इस रेस में? Because humanly, the body and the juices and genetic and the biochemistry, etc., it works in a way that it tells you to stop, your mind stops working, and still your heart says यार कर लेते हैं. 30 किलोमीटर कर लिया है, 42 है, भागो. Right? And if you can do 42, I'll challenge you to a 100-kilometer race which happens in India, ultra marathon. वहाँ आपको मैं ले चलूँगा. वो भी करो.
I think it's time to wrap up because our reservation of this hall has run out.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I would like to acknowledge the people who have worked day and night for this event. 5 trustees of Sainik School Purulia Student Welfare and Inspiration Foundation Trust, starting from youngest, Sukhen Jana, who is traveling from Agra today. 2010 batch. Satish Varan, 2002 batch. Sushil Banwal, 2000 batch. Vibhav Pratik Rai, 97 batch. I'd like to invite Atul Rai, Chairman of SSP Swift, to present token gift to Mr. Sanjeev Shivesh, and rest of it will continue outside the room. Thank you, Mr. Shivesh. And thank you very much, and we'll see you, not you exactly, but people in Mumbai in 36 hours from now at the most awesome reunion at Sofitel 5-star, starting 10:30 a.m. on 29th June, Saturday. See you all, see some of you there. Thank you. Good night.
I'm retired Commander Manoj Tayal, retired from Indian Navy on 28th February 2013. And I'm now part of an organization called iSeed. I'm working there. Thank you.
Myself, Sawan Kumar. I'm a pass out 2002 batch. I'm working as assistant in Armed Force Headquarters Civil Services, posted in Air Force Headquarters. Thank you.
Pan Roy. I'm 2005 pass out from Sainik School Purulia, and I'm currently working in TCS as a software engineer.
Hi, I'm Rajkumar Singh. I'm working with AirSet for past 5 years, and I passed out Sainik School Purulia in 2001.
Myself, Rishi Ranjan, pursuing Charter Accountancy, passed out in 2002. Right now I am working with OPS Solution, looking accounts and finance.
Myself, Sukhen, from Lovely Professional University. I am pursuing BTech in ECE. Also, I am a trustee of SSP Swift. Thanks.
Hi, I am Anuj Kumar. I passed out from Sainik School Purulia in 2006, and I am working with Cognizant Private Solutions.
Myself, Sujit Kumar, 2004 pass out. I am manager at Canara Bank.
Myself, Sumit Kumar, and I passed out in 2011, and I am pursuing my graduation from Delhi University. Thank you.
Hi, I am Nayan Kumar. I have passed out in the year 2002 from Sainik School Purulia, and presently I am working as assistant professor of law in Indian Law Institute. Thank you.
Hi, I am Vibhav Pratik Rai. I am a 97 batch alumnus, and I am one of the trustees of SSP Swift. I am currently working in MNC in Gurgaon.
Jayant Prakash, 1993 batch. I am a chartered accountant. I am currently working with a consulting.
Kumar, 1991 batch. 1993 batch, working as translator in Parliament of India. Kumar. Repeat. I am Sanjeev Kumar, working as translator in Parliament of India.
This is Shukanta Mahabhadru, 2002 batch, working for IBM Daksh. Thank you.
Hi, I am Atul Rai, 1992 batch, chairman of SSP Swift.
Hi, I am Mantu Singh, 2002 batch, and currently working with HC.
My name is Aishwarya Chaudhary, 2002 pass out. I am currently working with Canon India Private Limited.
I'm Shreyas Kumar, 93 batch. I work at Oracle USA and also a PhD student of computer science at the University of California. And I'm a vice president of external relations of SSP Swift. Thank you.